Hey everyone, I wanted to give you all a quick update on what happened this morning. I am headed back to the Capitol, and earlier this morning, a group of us, House Democrats, had a meeting with the new Department of Education Secretary, Linda McMahon. And first, I have to say, really appreciate the fact that a Trump administration secretary was willing to host a group of Democrats to hear us out and to listen to our concerns. Really grateful also that, she really did give us a significant amount of time to have these conversations. We talked to her about our innumerable concerns regarding the Department of Education, the dismantling of such a critical agency, the impact it will have, what the Trump administration is doing, the impact that will have on our kids, on education, on teachers, on administrators, staff, and on the future. And here's the upshot of that meeting. As gracious as she was, it is a number of things are pretty clear. First and foremost, she is there to execute Donald Trump's agenda. We know Donald Trump's agenda is Project 2025, the elimination of the Department of Education, in order to make deep cuts so that billionaires can have their tax breaks. That's the bottom line. She said she would examine the laws around the Department of Education. And by the way, they cannot dismantle or they cannot eliminate the Department of Education without congressional action. But the other thing that's clear is that as we asked about the plans, how are you going to do X, Y, and Z? How will you protect these groups, et cetera, it's clear they have no plan right now. And so this is being done in a very haphazard way. The other thing that is clear to me is that this is a pretty typical Republican strategy that they're engaging in, which is let's dismantle the bureaucracy and send all the money to the states. And according to her, kids would not be impacted and programs would not be impacted. But what I said to her in the meeting was, of course they will be impacted. You can claim that you are sending the money to the states so that it gets to kids and schools more quickly, but we know that's not what happens. What happens frequently, we've seen it with the IRS, we've seen it with the VA, we've seen it with the Social Security Administration, with innumerable other agencies. When you cut the people, you cut the access to those programs. You cut the ability for the American people to get the benefit of those programs because the people who administrate them are not there to do it. We are very concerned about the potential complete eradication of the division, the Office of Civil Rights, OCR. That is the largest civil rights office in any agency, and it's there to make sure that kids with disabilities, kids who live in poverty, kids who are in states that engage in discriminatory practices, that office is there to protect those kids, to make sure that those kids get an equitable education. You take that away, there's no federal agency that will protect our kids and ensure that every child has access to an equitable education. The other thing I'm also really, really concerned about with this whole idea of sending the money to the states. In Texas, we know that the state of Texas, Republicans who control the state, want to dismantle public education. They have been doing it slowly over time, and they're trying to put the final nails in the coffin this state legislative session. And so and I'll finish with this. The other aspect of this that is, we can predict what's going to happen. When you send money directly to states like Texas, and you have a governor like Greg Abbott making decisions about where the money's going to go, he is going to pick winners and losers. He's the one who's going to decide where the money goes. And when you don't have the federal government providing oversight, and making sure that states are following the laws. We've seen this movie before, and we know how it ends. So we pushed back in the meeting. We are going to continue to demand answers. We are going to continue to share the information with you. And I will tell you what I tell you over and over again. Please stay informed. Please stay engaged. Please let your members of Congress know how you feel. Ultimately, this is going to come to a head with regard to the Department of Education in Congress. So make sure your member of Congress knows how important the Department of Education is to you, how important an equitable education is for all kids all across America, and that we are not going to take this silently, and we are going to fight back. So thank you all. Just wanted to give you the update on what was going on today. I will keep you posted.